Hello class, it's Colin here, and today we are going to do a little review of plants. So first we will start here on page 62, and I will read some of the important parts in the chapter about plants. So first we have grasses, bushes, and trees. Remember that grasses are thin, soft, and flexible stems, and they don't have any branches, no branches at all. Bushes are thick, hard stems, and they have very low branches. Trees have a trunk, which is a thick and hard stem, high branches, and can either be deciduous or evergreen trees. Okay? Next, we have flowering and non-flowering plants. Flowering plants use seeds to reproduce, okay? The flowering plants which produce fruits with seeds are the angiosperms. These could be roses, cherry trees, blackberry bushes, grasses. We also have gymnosperms. Gymnosperms are the flowering plants which do not produce fruits. Their seeds develop inside cones. So these could be pine trees or fir trees, as we see in the picture here. Non-flowering plants, such as mosses and ferns, do not produce seeds. Do not produce seeds. They produce tiny spores, which they release into the air, and unlike ferns, mosses do not have proper roots and stems. So, they reproduce using spores, which they release into the air. Now we're looking at the reproduction of angiosperms. So, the reproductive organs of an angiosperm are inside the flower. The basic function of a flower is to produce the seeds, which will grow into new plants. And then remember that insects are attracted to the flower based on the petals' colors. So here we see purple, but flowers can also be red, green, all different colors. Sepals are small green leaves which protect the flower before it opens. So here are the sepals which protect the flower. The stamen are the male reproductive organs. They produce the pollen, so here are the stamen, which produce the pollen. And then we also have the carpel, which is the female reproductive organ of flowering plants. It includes the stigma, which receives the pollen, and the ovary, right here, where seeds develop. Okay? So, the stamen produces pollen, goes to another flower, and the stigma receive the pollen, okay? And then the ovary is where the seeds develop. For plants to reproduce, the pollen has to travel from the stamen to inside the stigma, and then this process is called pollination. So, we really have two different types of pollination. We have animal pollination, which is the transfer of pollen from a stamen to the stigma of another plant by an insect or bird. So here we see a bee with the pollen on it, transferring the pollen to another plant. We also have wind pollination, which involves wind blowing the pollen from one plant to another. So here we see the wind blowing the pollen, and that'll land on a different plant. And then right here, we can see the life cycle of a plant, okay? The pollen lands in the stigma, a seed develops inside the ovary grows into a fruit which contains seeds, the petals then fall off, the fruit falls, right here. The fruit falls, opens, and releases the seed. Here's the seed germinates, and a new plant grows, and then the new plant produces flowers, and then it starts all over again. And that is the life cycle of a plant. And then a really important part of the nutrition of a plant is photosynthesis and the respiration. Plants need water, carbon dioxide, minerals, and light, and energy from the sun to make their own food. This process is called photosynthesis, and it only occurs during the day because the plants need energy and light from the sun. Okay? The roots absorb water and minerals from the soil. The water and minerals travel up the stem to the leaves, we can see here. The plant absorbs carbon dioxide from the air, right here, through small holes in their leaves. Using sunlight energy, the carbon dioxide combines with water and minerals to produce food and oxygen. The oxygen is then released into the air, and then the food is transported through the stem to all parts of the plant, okay? And it gives nutrition to the plant. And that is the process we see of photosynthesis in this picture. Respiration. This is how the plants breathe, okay? Plants are living things and need to breathe all day and night, just like we do, okay? Just like people and animals. When they breathe, they take in oxygen and release carbon dioxide, okay? During the day, as part of photosynthesis, plants produce more oxygen than they need, so they release the oxygen and take in carbon dioxide. At night, when photosynthesis stops, plants no longer expel oxygen, they just release carbon dioxide, as we can see here, okay? Releasing carbon dioxide, taking in oxygen. But during the day, releasing excess oxygen and taking in carbon dioxide. Here we can see different ways plants help us, okay? In parks, gardens, green areas, they help us with giving us oxygen. And the rainforests, okay? The rainforests really help clean the planet's air by continuously recycling carbon dioxide into oxygen through photosynthesis. So lots of photosynthesis occurs in rainforests, which produces lots of oxygen. But unfortunately, some people are cutting down rainforests, as we see here, which is not good because that means less oxygen is being produced. Okay, thank you guys for listening, and I hope you have a nice time reviewing for science. Bye.